Good morning, June 30th. Today is the final day to submit your applications for RCF Class 001. For those of you that don't know, RCF is the Recurring Client Finder Program for house cleaning companies. And this is a program that I set up where we don't charge you ad spend or management fees. You just basically give us permission to send you as many sales opportunities as possible. And you pay us for the recurring clients that you sign on. So we get a finder's fee then. So that only is triggered after they have, they've met with you, they've scheduled their service, they've had the service, and they've paid their invoice, indicative of a happy client. So we are only getting paid for happy clients. We protect ourselves by way of something called the ACQ. So this is like they have a score that they must maintain in order to maintain good program standing. Otherwise, ad spend will diminish and they won't get any more sales opportunities. And that one can be found right here. We're not going to go into that too much today, but there's some data mess up with CMBCs. But that's all right. That's my main one anyway. But they need to maintain green status for the quarter, for all time or each quarter, in order to maintain, the flow of sales opportunities. So this isn't like, oh yeah, I'll sign up and I'm just going to take on whoever I want. I mean, ideally, you're trying to find very high quality clients, and we're not asking you to take on nightmare clients, but laziness will be spotted quickly inside the AC or the RCF scorecard, so we're able to maintain the integrity of the program. So back to it all. That is the RCF. If for some reason, you know what, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to get this published today, I don't think. The deadline is June 30th, is tonight. I need to put a PM there. We're closing applications for RCF Class 001. And these are all the applications for that so far. I have already made most of the decisions on accepting or moving on. RCF Class 001 is going to be by far the easiest class to be accepted. And the main reason for this is because there's a lot about the program we don't know yet. So while there are a couple members, I should pull up my map here. So we have a few members already. They are in the green. So you can see we've got one in Richmond, we've got one in Dayton, Ohio, we've got one in Wichita, Kansas, Denver, Colorado, and then down in New Orleans. The blues or the purples are CM brands, custom mades. That's my personal brand, or like my family's, and they are in Bay City, Michigan, and Central Valley, California. The orange dots represent potential or incoming RCF members. They have been accepted, and it is pending the RCF graduation. Now, if there is a dark orange in some of these areas, that means that there are 2 accepted members. Now, it might be kind of hard to see it. So Chicago has 2, but just to the west, there's Naperville. Chicago is enormous. So we're going to accept members if there's only a slight overlap, but you will not be directly competing with someone. The best example here is in Texas, Dallas and Fort Worth, and then Houston. We've got a North Houston and South Houston. We're going to accept both and see how it goes. These are some of the unknowns that we have within the program. Now, for somewhere like Wichita, Kansas, no, we're not going to accept anyone probably within the vicinity there. We're not going to be able to even accept someone over in Western Kansas. Now, there's 2 in Cincinnati, there's 2 in Chicago, 2 in Charlotte, Atlanta, Myrtle Beach. I think that might have been the only one for now, but there's a bunch there. See, Dover, Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware, and then Philadelphia. There's a lot of area to cover there, so that's why we're allowing that for right now, but it is all contingent upon RCF graduation. We are not sending anyone any opportunities until they know what the heck is going on. What I'm learning with a lot of these applications is that the majority of business owners really have no clue what a follow-up process is. And I say that this is going to be the easiest RCF class because I'm accepting people that actually don't even, their articulation is so bad. but their scores elsewhere help boost it up. So there are a lot of reds in here and some yellows. So the ones down here probably not going to get accepted if they say reviewing, but if they're red up here, we're deciding or we've accepted them based on very unique cases. Now, one I will show you, like Greenville, North Carolina. This is a quite bad application score at 66. It will trigger green, I think, at 160. I think. So this is well below. However, they're in Greenville, North Carolina, and their market score suffers because of that. This is based off of a percentage, or sorry, the population. And if it's below a certain threshold, it's basically wipes out your chances of getting in. So there's like, the applicant has no control over the market area score. That's just, the RCF is not going to play in some markets, but it will in others. Now, in this case, this is an extremely rare scenario because Greenville's not very big. I don't anticipate a ton of applications coming in there, but I would like to operate there. So let's say that, another notable part. This is minus 50 on their team. That typically means that they don't have the necessary admin person in the office. That typically means they're the ones doing the cleaning themselves, and that's quite a no-go. However, I'm going back to mentioning it and saying that the RCF class 001 will be the easiest to get into. So we're letting folks in to see how it goes, to start off slow. At the very least, we're going to get all of our assets built here real quick, and then we're going to have it set up. And so hypothetically, if any member falls off, we're going to be able to find a competitor of theirs and swap them right in. So they will have to go through the application process in RCF University, but they won't have to endure the time it takes to build the assets. So we'll be able to plug and play. So let's say we'll use my Midland Bay City example. This will never happen because they're not an RCF member technically. But if they were to start suffering in terms of their ACQ score, we are going to, they will enter the probationary period and then they will be expelled from the program, and we will open up the applications in that area to find someone else to fill it. At the end of the day, we have assets that our members are driving or are reaping the rewards from. Members are like, they're not clients of the RCF. They don't even own the assets. They just get to all of the opportunity that comes from it because we're taking all of the burden of building the online presence and sending the paid traffic there and generating the lead. So that's why the RCF is so attractive on its performance-based model. Back at the applications here, I have processed all of them that are highlighted in yellow. I have to send out declination letters and acceptance letters. So everyone, whether they're accepted or declined, gets a customized letter from the RCF board explaining why they were accepted and what was good and what needs help, or why they were not accepted and why or what else they should be working on. My biggest concern is articulation. This basically means, can you articulate, can you explain your follow-up process? Now, I'm going to show you what this looks like, what the question looks like. I'm going to show you my problem with it. So I asked them, can you explain your, or describe your follow-up process? What type of process do you have in place to ensure that you have the best chance to win every sales opportunity? This is the most important question of the application. This is not asking how you follow up after servicing a client. Short answers are deleted, and if you cannot articulate your follow-up process, you will not be eligible. Someone says 0, walkthrough, private message or text, callbacks, NA. Quality. This one's going to crush it. This one's going to crush it. We already have that asset built, actually. This one's pretty good. Oh, I'm only on the accepted ones. That's why. Like, people have no idea. Walkthrough. Customer relations and service. What specific challenge that our service could address? That's a good question, but this is not a follow-up. You need to say, we reach out in 5 minutes. If they don't respond, then we call. If we don't hear from them, then we send them an email, and then we follow up the day after. You need to explain what your follow-up process is, because the follow-up is what drives a business. I see all these current revenue numbers here and what everyone is at. $21,000 a month, $35,000 a month, $30,000 a month, $20,000 a month, 10, 12, 36. Custom Aids is at $71,000 a month. Okay? So when I say follow up with your leads, I mean it. If the mindset isn't there to win a sales opportunity, it will show in your ACQ score and you will be expelled. That's, again, RCF Class 001 will be the easiest one ever to get into, because now I have all this data to see who lied and who is not managing their business properly. Now, the program is never, ever going to call someone out. So in our updates, when we say, you know, for example, I'll use Custom Aids, our CMBC is now at risk. Now they're on probation, or CMBC is now expelled. We will never name the business and we'll never name the member, but we will say that that asset is now open, basically. So I have all this data in here, all this self-reported data that people of their own business, what they think that they are. And my program, the RCF program, is going to basically prove it and see if folks are actually managing the business, their business, the way they say that they are. A problem that we're going to run into, I know because we already are, is the RCF cannot care about your business more than you can. And I'm not saying that it doesn't have the capability. I'm saying that it won't work. If the RCF cares more about your company's growth than you do, you're going to feel like the board is targeting you and coming after you. But we will not push anyone that we don't think can grow. So, follow-up is entirely important. And when you're applying, being able to articulate that follow-up is important. We also grade on CRM usage. Whether or not you use it, you get points, yes or no, if you just use a CRM. HomoGlow is not a CRM. I think that's more like bark.com where you can get leads from. It's not a CRM, and there's a lot of people that put that in here, so I'm understanding that there is a lot of misunderstanding. In addition to that, overwhelming number of these are, I don't use a CRM. So that, if you don't use a CRM, it's like, what are you doing? Like, you're trying to burn your brain out, and you will plateau, and you will never be able to grow beyond that. Like, Custom Aids didn't grow to $71,000 by, you know, having everything in our brain. It has to be out on a document, processes that people can follow, so that when you hire someone new, you can ramp them up within a week. Not that you have to train them yourself every time. So the use of software is critical in business, and the RCF will not take someone on if they're not using a CRM, because we're not here to care more about your business than you are. We're not here to teach you how to operate a business. We're here to marry our client acquisition system with already successful, already established companies that are ready to rock. So yes, while you might apply and you're like, oh, I need clients, I'm going to do such a great job. That is completely the opposite of what the RCF is looking for. If you are going out on a needs basis and you're kind of desperate, you're going to charge too low. The clients or the prospects will smell it. You will not be able to close that lead, and you will have no confidence going forward. So then when we keep sending you leads And clients, you're gonna have this bottleneck, and you're gonna get stressed out, and you're gonna tell us to pull back and to throttle the sales opportunities, to say slow down on the leads. The second that does, the member is immediately placed on at risk. If you need to ask, you can, but you're automatically at risk, and you're one step from probation, which is one step from expulsion. We're toying with the idea with automatically triggering a probationary period upon that throttling request, because the application process is supposed to weed all those people out. Like, you need a business that is able to absorb 10 new recurring clients every month, or be willing to grow a business that is capable of that. Otherwise, you don't have a business, and you're not growing a business, unfortunately. So the RCF wants business people. It needs business people because it is performance-based. It is not here to handhold. While there is training, it's not the comprehensive mastermind gurus that you're going to be used to. Like, this is, okay, we are teaming up with rock solid entrepreneurs, go-getters, self-starters, these business owners who can take a sales opportunity and convert them into a paying client. We're not here to build a university of just students. The university is to teach about the program and to educate people on how to best apply. We really don't promote RCF University that much, although anyone is free to apply, because we want to, anyone's free to enroll, sorry, because we want everyone to have a chance to apply, and they will then know why they didn't get accepted, so they can go work on their business and then improve it from there. So that is a bit about the application process. I know I'll go into more of the scoring details a little bit better later, but they're all based on certain formulas. The averages, I'm taking snapshots every day. Look at just this row here. The average applicant has $5,100 of monthly revenue, and they want to get to 86. It's a good growth factor, but on average, we're finding that on average they sign 3 clients a month and deliver 6 estimates. I have my issues with that data, because sometimes people will put that, like, let me find one right here. How many new recurring clients do you sign each month compared to how many estimates do you deliver? Somehow they sign more recurring clients than delivering the estimate. If that's the case, if you're doing that, you're doing it incorrectly, and you won't make it through. Yeah, the averages are, I want this data just to like really compare custom mades against. I want to see the average of, hourly rate. $50 an hour is the hourly rate. The lowest is, or highest is $250. The lowest was 0 because they're just starting out. Of course, the RCF won't take anyone there. And then here's just like a snapshot of all the data I've been, just the last few days, to see how it fluctuates. So I will go like this right now, just to take today. Pop it there. Well, I just did it last night, so I can see how it influenced them. See over time how this affects it, and see, like, perhaps if these scores go up, that means RCF University is doing its job in terms of educating folks on the application process, or it just means the Facebook conversion event is finding the higher end business owners. So we've got a lot going on. I've got a lot of folks enrolled. I don't anticipate all of these getting filled up, although I will have an asset built for all of these. Eventually, we got to get them filled, but it's not going to be very quick because folks have to go through and graduate RCF University, and then we build the asset and get everything set up. So we're aiming to have 50 members locked in, graduated from RCFU by, or like they're onboarded and all that by December 31st, 2023. And then by July of next year, so we have a year from basically tomorrow, 50 of these members will be at a point where they're acquiring 10 per month. I don't know which 50 it will be, because we will have the next RCF class coming in by then. And so we're just going to keep adding to the assets. And we just need to get 50 members up to that threshold of 10 new clients acquired every single month. So if you're watching this, if you're someone who's in RCF University right now, the best thing you can do is finish it, because in a case like Atlanta, Chicago, Charlotte, Myrtle Beach, there's someone else there with you. And if they finish before you do and their score is their application score is similar to yours, we will go with them. And yeah, you graduated RCF University, but you ultimately didn't make it. So then the asset will be taken, and there's just simply nothing we can do unless you were to move to a new market area from there, or that member were to get expelled, but that takes an entire year. As a reminder, so you're in good standing upon starting with the RCF. So then if you have 6 months, you have 6 months to make it into the green. If you are not in the green, you will be considered at risk. And then you have another quarter, 3 months, to bring yourself into the green. If you still are not there, you enter probation. Then you have yet another quarter, another 3 months to bring it back into the green. If you do, you're okay. If you don't, unfortunately, that's where we will expel the member, because that means we're literally losing money on that member, and we know there's someone else that would take the opportunity. If we're losing money, it's because of an extremely poor conversion rate. Like, you don't. A lot of these aren't going to convert the first time. So it's not to get discouraged. You're going to convert maybe like 10 to 12% on the first go, and then let the automation run and do their thing. 8 months from now, you're going to have a full pipeline and a bunch of people that the automation is reaching out to because you already lost that opportunity 6 months prior. So not only do you have brand new leads coming in all the time, you have these old leads that said no before, but they still convert. You just got to wait, because the project rescue automation doesn't trigger until 6 months later. And when you just start, you have no one in that pipeline. So the first 6 months are definitely the slowest. But that's why we are very lenient on giving them half a year to get your ACQ score into the green. So if you have any questions about the RCF, if you've seen any other videos, we used to take, so everyone in the green here is eligible for not paying that finder's fee until after their third visit is completed, the client's third visit. We no longer offer that. It's due upon the first visit. That was a promotional offer just for those first few to kind of really see what's going on. And now we're stomping on the gas pedal and going forward. And if we're getting you a client, someone that's indicated they want like a bi-weekly clean, for example, you go and clean them that first time, you go and clean them a second time, and then they say, hey, like, this isn't what I wanted. This is not a good job. So I'm going to cancel. Well, these in the green would not trigger a finder's fee, but going forward, it will, because if you're not satisfying your client, that's not the program's fault. It is the recurring client finder program, not the recurring client keeper program. Not yet anyway. So finder's fee is due on the first time, and there will be no exceptions. You can go to any other marketing agency and they're going to charge you management fees on top of it, and they will make you pay the ad spend all before you get started. There might even be a setup fee. They'll say they'll waive it because they want to bring you on, but you'll have those 3 fees there. But the RCF you don't pay a single thing. You have to apply and be good enough, basically. You don't have to pay for anything except for one client once they have paid an invoice with you. And once that happens, the RCF has nothing to do with that client anymore. It's all yours. So I needed to hit on that part. Make sure it was clear that finder's fees for everyone henceforth will be due after that first visit is completed, after that first invoice is paid. So let's say it's June right now. Okay, we'll do 2 examples. Let's say you cleaned someone on the 23rd a week ago and they paid that invoice today. Well, as we go in and process the finder's fees, we'll see that the 3rd visit was completed, and this finder's fee would be triggered June 30th and go out July 1st. Okay, now next month, let's say July 9th, I'm in June. July 9th, July 10th, we'll do a Monday. Come on. someone pays their invoice. Well, you're going to make a note in Nurturely, and you're just going to mark them 1 after they've paid that invoice, and that triggers the finder's fee. Then it triggers the notification of the finder's fee, but it's not going to become due until August. Let me back up. When someone pays their first invoice with you, you're going to mark them as 1 in Nurturely Plus. I'm not going to get into that now. That has training elsewhere. You mark it as 1. Basically, job well done. It's 1. Well, finder's fees go out once a month. They go out on the 1st of the month, and you have 7 days to pay it. So let's say you have your client on the 10th, they pay the 10th, and you don't come into Nurturely until the 11th, and you mark it because you only do it once a day. That's perfectly fine. Just, it needs to be consistent. You mark it 11th, we get notification. We're not doing anything with it until this final week here, and then we will send you the invoice August 1st, and then you will be able to review it, who's on there. You'll see every single person that's on there that triggered a finder's fee, so that you can say yes or no, like you agree or you disagree. We're not going to automatically charge you. It's not due right away. There is a grace period so that we are sure that the finder's fee is earned and is there. So we really try to game this program in every possible way that it's advantageous to you. The only way that it's not as advantageous anymore is that we require the finder's fee on the first payment rather than the third now. And honestly, if there's a gripe about that, I'm just going to remind you again that you can go somewhere else and pay that management fee, ad spend, and setup fee on the front end. I'll leave that there. So we are closing applications today. I will be sending the final grades out. I will be processing some of the declination letters and the acceptance letters today. Tomorrow, most of them will go out, and then graduation has to happen within 30 days or they forfeit the spot, and we will just reopen applications for that area. So we'll see who's actually serious and who's not. But that is all I've got for today. I didn't really anticipate talking for 28 minutes here, but so it is. And I hadn't described or explained anything about the application process and what we've got going on and what we're looking for. There will be a lot more content about this later. A lot of this will be in RCF University, but I needed to get this out because transparency is huge for me, for the RCF. So we put everything out in the open. As you can see, we've even got the ACQ scores, the opportunities, estimates delivered, the number of opportunities won, and even how much ad spend we've spent on each member. You're going to see how you rank up against other members, and you will not be able to hide. The RCF will not be able to hide in terms of how many opportunities we are sending as well. So this is quite exciting, and it is about to launch. Thank you for being part of RCF Class 001. If you're not, go ahead. You're still welcome to apply. Applications will close for this class tonight. The application will remain open, but I mean, very, very few people will see it, and it's not going to be promoted after that. The ads will be shut off. So if you're somehow seeing this video, you see a link, you can visit, you can apply, you can enroll in RCF University. We're not going to close all that out because at the end of the day, we're helping people build very strong house cleaning companies, and we're not going to restrict outside of the actual RCF program. So you can learn how to build the strong, powerful house cleaning company, but only the cream of the crop is going to get into the RCF program. So RCF University is there to teach you how to become the cream of the crop, but we're not going to handhold you to do so because we want people who want it themselves already. All right. That being said, I love you all. Thank you again for sticking with me. Have a great weekend. 4th of July weekend is coming up for those of us here in America. I'm not sure when you're watching this, though, so that's probably not going to be as relevant anymore. But I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks for sticking with me. Bye-bye.